Hello, everyone, and welcome to the third lecture for Chapter 2. And in this lecture, we are going to discuss infertility and reproductive technology. First, we have to define what is infertility. Infertility is when a couple has been trying to conceive a child after 12 months of regular intercourse, and they have been specifically trying to have a child after 12 months, but they're not able to. It is only after 12 months that they've been having regular intercourse can it be defined as infertility. About 10 to 15% of couples in the United States experience infertility. And I'm so grateful now that, celebrities and just more people are starting to come out about their experiences with infertility to let people know that they aren't alone and that this is something that does happen. I do want to really stress this point is that infertility does not rest with just the woman, or it does not rest with just the men. Infertility can be caused by either issues with the women's reproductive system or issues with the man reproductive system. I know Handmaid's Tale is very popular, and a lot of the men are actually sterile in that show, but they blame it on the women. And the women, just in general, women may have issues with not ovulating. Her fallopian tubes may be blocked. She may have a disease that where she is not able to physically carry a child in her womb. And a man may have issues such as having sperm where it's not enough sperm in order for the sperm to really get to the egg. The sperm may also lack the ability to swim, and he also may have a black passageway. So it's not only the man and it's not only the woman that can cause fertility. It can lie in either the man or the woman. When we are talking about issues with infertility, a lot of couples seek help every year. It's about 2 million couples. So as I stated, infertility is not something that is that few people go through. Many people go through infertility, and the most common technique used to help with fertility is called IVF. The longer version of IVF is in vitro fertilization. In vitro fertilization is actually happens outside of the mother's womb. So what happens is that the doctors will gather eggs from the mother and will gather sperm from the father, the genetic father, and what they can do is combine it in a laboratory dish. And as we learned in chapter 1, that will form a zygote. And any eggs are fertilized, then the fertilized eggs are going to be inserted into the mother's womb. So you have the eggs and the sperm in a lab dish. They hopefully form a zygote. And then those fertilized eggs are inserted into the mother's womb, and hopefully it will take and the mother will become pregnant. There are consequences that come along with fertility treatment. One consequence is that when you use a fertility treatment like in vitro, it can increase multiple births. And when I say multiple births, I mean you can have an increase in twins, triplets, quadruplets. Having more than one baby at a time is a result of fertility treatments. Some people choose not to carry the baby themselves. And a lot of times it can be due to health issues. They may not physically be able to carry the baby, or they're just not, and they just don't want to carry the baby, which is fine. And what that is called is surrogacy. And surrogacy is when the biological mother and the biological father, their eggs and their sperm come together in a petri dish, in a laboratory, in a petri dish to form the zygote. That zygote is put into someone other than the biological mother, and the biological mother carries the baby for 40 weeks and births the baby. And then the baby is given to its, biological birth parents. The issue with surrogacy is that it is very expensive. You can make a lot of money being a surrogate, but it's not cheap. But it is something that is becoming more common in today's age. Next up, we're going to talk about adoption. So when we're talking about adoption, according to the book, it is a relationship, and it's a parent-child relationship that is established between people that are not related. So we're looking at a mother and a child, a father and a child, anybody that has a male and a child, a female and a child, anyone that is not related, they're going to come together to form a relationship. And you have to go through the social and legal process. So there's a social process where you have to, of course, get acclimated to having someone new in your home if you are adopting a baby or a child, a teenager. Or on the other hand, the child has to get used to being in a new environment as well. So there's that social process, but there's also, a legal process that that many people choose to go through when adopting a child. That just says that they are their legal guardian or their legal caregiver, so that, with regards to like tax purposes or things like that, they can actually claim them as their own. I don't know if any of you all watch This Is Us, but this is one of my favorite shows. And Randall is actually adopted. He was adopted. He was left at a fire station, and his mom and dad, Jack and Rebecca, actually adopted him. U.S. couples adopting a wider diversity of children. That's becoming increasingly more popular. And a lot of times U.S. couples choose now to adopt from other countries. They can adopt from other ethnic groups, as was done in This Is Us when Rebecca and Jack adopted Randall. They can even choose to adopt children that have physical or mental problems, or children that have been neglected or abused. But adoptions don't always include the system. A lot of times, family members may welcome others into their home, but not legally adopt them. So, for example, you may have grandparents who don't legally adopt children, but they are their guardian. Or you may have step-parents that help to take care of stepchildren, but they may still not legally adopt them. Those are still worthwhile, and that's still valuable to talk about as far as when we talk about having children in kinship care with grandparents, aunts and uncles, and even step-parents taking care of stepchildren. Okay, that's it for this video. I'll see you all on the next video.